Alright, we're back. We're back Beyond the Harbor. It took a while, but they finally released the third chapter, and I'm just going to go into here and see if the music is... I'm gonna lower it a bit, because for some reason it just keeps fucking up. And... Chapter select. Yeah, this is a really weird way of doing this. Like, you have... We're on the third one, so Redux. Breakfast is merciful enough to stay down in my stomach where it belongs. The consecutive waves of nausea that assaulted me showed some mercy this time, I suppose. I'd woken up a disgusting mess of a man, but nothing a nice hot shower and a little TLC for my teeth couldn't fix. And hey, Sam's relentless flirting started up right after I was all cleaned up. I read that wrong. And hey, Sam's relentless flirting started up after I was all cleaned up. That's but we're something right. Right? This was my best efforts to pretend I was having an old day. The nagging memories of the previous night stayed fresh in my mind. This is... No, it's not new. It's the same as it was yet. Yo, you're starting off into space again. I blink. Again? Still flicks by him as he smirks at me. Yes, if I didn't know any better, I'd assume you were just doing it to mess with me. Maybe you are sick. Squint's smile growing wider in his smug little face. Has the virus spread to your brain? How long do you think you had to live? I frowned at him. Hopefully long enough to put you in your place. He chuckles at my comment, but his expression will become more determined as he does. Hey, if you can handle me, that's already a step above what you were yesterday. Looks like it came at the cost of your attention span, though. I'm convinced your brain's just been leaking out your ears since you were catatonic on the dock last night. I shake my head. I'm just having a hard time focusing through the nausea. It takes a lot of willpower to not throw up, you know. A little lie, but not fully convinced the truth is more believable. I want to talk to someone about what happened, but this isn't the guy. My gut tells me as much. There you go, doing it again. Oh, fuck off. I'm just thinking about stuff. He points to himself. Hi, I'm Stuff. I smile. Hi, Stuff. Did you get our plans for the day together? He smiles back at me, nodding his head. Well, yes, I did. We were busy washing the vomit out of your fur. I was, as promised, arranging for some contacts to help out with the investigation. I tilt my head. How many of them are attached to your nether regions? None, but hey, you want to dump these plans, we can talk about... Fuck you. I'm absolutely down. I shake my head, full of alarms as I do. The original plans are fine, thanks. Your loss. He smiles. So, my first step was to call Veronica Henderson, the woman he was close to throughout his life, as far as anyone can tell. Veronica? Pretty much everyone calls her V, that's with 2 E's. The nerves of my brain fire kinetic information. Right, her. Buff girl that woke Oliver up. If those two were friends, they were definitely going through a rough patch. Well, I tried to give her a call, but no dice. She didn't pick up, and I left a voicemail. Well, we'll see if she calls back, but I wouldn't hold my breath if I were you. He raised his finger to his chin. Say, how long can you hold your breath anyways? I frowned my eyes in response, and he chugged it before continuing. Next on my list, the only other person close to Ollie, Donovan Keegan. I blink. Don. He nods. Yep. The shady kid that took off before Oliver did. I reclined back on my couch and closed my eyes. This guy is number 2 on my list to be able to talk to, only behind Oliver himself. I dig my fingers into my cheeks, recalling the nightmares I'd experienced the night before. Don's name and face were associated with the deepest, darkest part of Ollie's vision. I know I can't put too much faith in that vision or whatever it was, but deep down in my gut, I can feel how real it all was. You have some thoughts? I nod my head. Well, I talk to this guy, yeah. Open my eyes and recall and see the cat is snuck closer to me face to face. Ugh! Responds as I lean back as far as I can go, a toothy grin spreading across his face. Well, you're shit out of luck. I was pretty sure the only other person that anyway could contact him was V. Tilted his head to the side a bit. So we'd have to wait and see if she gets back to me. I get a chance to groan at this news, however, the cat interrupts me. But I remembered someone else who was involved, even if to a lesser extent. I raised an eyebrow. Was someone else involved with him before he went missing? Yep, another boy, always out of sight. Squint. What is that supposed to mean? Well, Cat considers his words before speaking again. The sort of guy knows following just far enough behind Oliver that nobody without a keen sense of things would notice him. In almost uncomfortable amount of times, I should add. Lean forward and think. Stalker, huh? Unless Sam was drawing parallels that didn't exist. So, even if it's just a tangential relation, he's still a potential lead. I can tell by the look in your face that I piqued your interest. A nod. Good. Trevor Ward's the name, and like Don or V, he has an extensive online presence. And lucky you, he still lives in this town. Well, that's convenient. Interested in paying him a visit? I nod. Yeah, beats sitting our asses waiting for a phone call. Chuckles. You're more than welcome to sit on your dick instead. Yeah, I get it. His eyes widen for about half a second before turning to normal. Well, if you're offering. I smile back at him. How about we solve this case first, Mr. Wong? I lean back again, smiling as I do. I'm sure I'll be in a more agreeable mood when all this is put to rest. He smiles back at me, his devious eyes, sure not to lose sight of their target. I'll be sure to keep that in mind. Fucking hell. Why do we have to have this fucking character? Humor, I guess? The cool breeze rolling off of the nearby ocean ruffles my fur as I increase my pace to match Sam's. You weren't kidding. That was a pleasant walk. No, I'm just saying that because I walked it with you. Continues on, not looking back as he speaks to me. Hard way. I'd say it's been a really nice day. Sans the fog, maybe. I'm thrown off as his pace rapidly slows, but rebound quickly to match. Hold on. Shut the fuck up. This is definitely the place. Probably. I glare at the cat. What? You didn't know where we were going? Hey, I had a pretty good idea. He folds his arms, stepping up onto the well-kept porch of the large, imposing house in front of us. I've never talked to this guy, but I remembered a guy that looked just like him living around here. I squinted at him, hanging back. Wait, you aren't even 100% sure he lives here? The cotton and brain grind together until steam starts to flow out of my ears. Wait. You've never even talked to this guy before? He shrugs his shoulders. No, I couldn't keep a detailed case file on every last weirdo in this town. He turns around to face me. I haven't paid attention. The people here are bizarre. You're included on that list, weirdo. He grins, he beckons to me. I answer his call, ascending the stairway to his kingdom of the unknown. There's an ever-expanding pit of doubt taking up residence in my stomach. My detective's heart keeps my feet moving. I'm not from around here, by the way. I tilt my head. You aren't? He smiles. Do I look like some hick from out in the boonies? I'm from California. Ew. I shrug back at him, making a mental note of that as I approach the door. I'd be lying if I told him I wasn't thoroughly intimidated as my finger hovered over the doorbell. Look back at him predictably, and predictable response, he smiles at me. Exhaling, I overcome my doubt and press the button. And we wait. And we wait. And we wait. We wait. Waiting. We keep on. Alright, that's enough waiting around. Sam pulled her away in trance, practically shoved me aside. Check this out, I know the trick. There's a trick to ringing the doorbell. I unfold my arms, placing a hand on my hip and leaning towards the cat. Surely you're not going to... But he does. Oh my god. Okay. Before I can stop it, his finger solves the doorbell's weak point. His assault isn't isolated to a single strike, though. He repeatedly jams his digits into the... Okay. Unbearable to with the abuse, I shout and grab him by the shoulders. Fucking Jesus Christ, what are you doing? Here's my desperate plea continue to violate the mechanism. This merciless assault only continues as unflinching resolve sets solid. The cringe washes over me, overwhelming and adrenaline pumping down my body, forcing me to a fight or flight. It's a fucking doorbell. I want to, need to run away. The investigation. I was certain my fate weighed heavy on my heart. Oh my god. Fucking hell, it's a doorbell, you freak. Composure. Oh, Lord. My melodramatic thoughts are interrupted, however, by the sound of the door just in front of me creaking open. I quickly go with the cat and reset back to my previous position, composing myself. My cohort does the same. Can I, help you? I look on as a pale green eye reveals itself behind the door, now slightly ajar. I nod my head. Are you, Trevor Ward? It blinks at me. Yes, that's me. There's a long awkward pause before he continues. Wait, did you meet with me? I open my mouth to speak when I'm caught up by the cat beside me. Trevor, I haven't seen you in what, 4 years? He shoves me aside to a position closer to the door. Do you remember me? We went to high school together. Trevor squints his eyes and closes the door just a teeny bit more as the cat gets closer and closer to him. Hey, it's okay if you've forgotten. It's been a long time, so I can totally understand, but I remember you so vividly. We just have to catch up. Wouldn't you agree? Well, and I've got to figure out what you've been doing with your life. You look great. You gotten taller. I don't remember your eyes being so green. And he's up against me, thoroughly glazing the iguana with his honeyed tongue. What? Trevor, on the other hand, sinks further and further away from the cat's relentless assault. The miasma of discomfort he's exerting is dense enough to start a new play. I have to do something. Listen to me, Trevor. I interrupt another Sam's empty compliments. We're here to get some information. Can you please help us? You may be the only person who can. Please, will you just hear me out? Iguana closes his eyes and said a long, tired sigh. Listen, JC, you notice how beautiful his scales are? Do you think he follows the same skin keratin his father does? He can't interrupt him again, though this time his reaction is different. His eyes go wide while his pupils shrink and his mouth hangs open. If there's any attempt to hide the shock and terror that assaulted him at this statement was invisible to me. Wait just a minute, is your father home? Sam turns his gaze back on me. I just remembered we can always ask his father instead if he's uncomfortable answering us. I'm about to respond, but I'm interrupted by the door being yanked. The door ahead of us being yanked open. No, he's not open, but I can answer any questions you have. In a comfortable silence and hanging in the air as I ponder on what to make of what just happened. It doesn't sit right with me, but I'm not about to look a gift horse in the mouth. Thank you, Trevor. I'm sure your information will be a big help in the... The cat beside me interrupts me by digging his elbow in my side as he beams his predator's smile on him. May we come in, kind sir? Painful sounding exhalation, similar to the one I just made myself, escapes from Trevor before he stands aside. Be my guest. He used one of his scaly hands, begging us to enter. I'm still frustrated with Sam for eating my follow was laid for now. As soon as I take my first step into the den of the beast, I stagger and overwhelmed with a blast of humidity. It takes every ounce of self-control not to swear as I do. I had just gotten used to the chill, for fuck's sake. Over here in the living room, you guys can sit on the couch if you like. And what if I were to sit on the floor? Well, you can sit on the floor if you'd like. I just thought that, Nah, we'll sit on the couch. He smirks. My companion here may prefer the floor himself. I just like to keep the option open. I glare over him for smiling at the lizard. The couch is just fine for me too, thanks. Trevor turns around to face us as we search Reach the spacious living room, nervously shuffling about as he makes eye contact. Alright, can I offer you both something to drink? A generous offer, right off to pass. Just to be thrown out back with the same answers him, but I'd become used to his quick turnarounds. Just water for me, please. He turns to me. With ice? I shake my head. No, thank you. His lips curve into a soft smile before he turns tail and walks into the kitchen. So tell me, I'm gonna sit on the luxurious couch and the cat sits standing next to me. How do you handle a sudden change in heat like this? A rebate of sweat that began traveling down my forehead. Because I'm having a hard time adjusting. Cat typing away on his phone doesn't even look up as he responds. Already in heat, weren't you? I furrow my brow. What? Not particularly. What the fuck? What? I don't fucking know. You sure? Wow. Okay. I blink. How I didn't see that one coming, I may never know. We don't have long to sit and wait as Trevor returns from the kitchen with 2 drinks. A taller glass of water for me and a can of ginger ale for himself. Once he settled on the armchair for us across from us, I decided to break the ice nice and early. So, Trevor, care to tell us a bit about yourself? Anything in particular? He gives an awkward smile as I pull out my notebook. Anything, really. I just want to get to know you a little better. I smile back at him. I can start to get an idea. My name is Juan Carlos, and I'm from Des Moines, Iowa. I wasn't born here in the US, though. What? Who the hell? That's interesting. We have a protagonist that's okay. I have no idea how to say that shit in Mexico until it was 4. Kid at my side, Sturridge, chuckling. You gonna use some hot Mexican pickup lines on me? I roll my eyes. Yeah, because I was definitely picking up dudes as a toddler. Turn back to Trevor, who seems to have no reaction to Sam's interruption. Anyways, my family immigrated here in 2002. We lived in Texas for a little while, but moved further north after a year my dad got a better job. My little brother was born a year after that. They continued on, drop out the cat's tail, brushed against my shoulder. Turn back to him and see what he wants, but he uses it to point at... Fuck, I'm filling with a ring again. So I've spent most of my life here. The only thing that I miss about Mexico is... Breathe out slowly. My big sister. Those are its pale green eyes stare back at me as he registers the obvious pain in my voice. She... stayed behind? I give him a big smile. Yeah. She disappeared in 2002. Trevor blinks, seemingly taken aback. Sam, on the other hand, seems to have no reaction to my revelation aside from a usual smirk. Clear my throat before continuing. So, yeah, I'm your average American guy. My interests include food, fashion, Fabu, and finding out what happened to people who disappear. Give the iguana a knowing smile. Did that help? He stares back what seems like a minute before stuttering out an answer. Yes, thank you. Takes a turn at coughing before speaking again. My name is Trevor Ward. Trevor Ward. Scroll my notebook as it continues. I'm 23 years old and I've lived here in Harborton for all my life. I graduated in 2014 and my interests are he fidgets around in his seat. Video games and bugs and video games about This dude's weird. His lips curl into a comfortable smile before he loses an awkward chuckle. That's about it. Try to offset the discomfort rapidly seeping from the man I was questioning with a nod and reply. Wonderful, thank you. Reassurance my voice seems to do a little to his panic state, as the discomfort visible in his face continues to manifest. Yeah. I can't, He puffs out a short breath of air before focusing on me again. Sorry, Oh, that reminds me, JC. The iguana's mouth hangs wide open, dropped by Sam again. You asked me the other day about college. I cock an eyebrow. What does that... You asked me that, didn't you? Why didn't you ask Trevor the same question? Like the lizard's pale green eyes have widened considerably. Sam, turn my attention back to the cat. That doesn't seem particularly relevant to this entire interview. He leans back in his seat, never present grin glued to his face. You asked me for a reason, didn't you? Well, yeah, it was relevant at the time. Really? Why is that? I pinched the bridge of my nose. I generally think someone's choice of higher education says a lot about them. Oh, in that case, I'm a good example. I'm a business major after all. What does that tell you about me? With my arms. Well, you're kind of an asshole. You're pushy, rude. Don't flatter me. I flinch as he pushes his tail against my shoulder. You see, your observations are completely invalid. I blink. What? I didn't choose my own major, dumbass. Mom forced me to go to college so we can keep the family business going after she croaks. He's further back into the couch. I'd have quit a long time ago if that didn't mean getting cut off. Quiet to his tone that throws me off. Sounds defeated. We've missed this opportunity. Sorry, Trevor, please be patient. Well, what did you want to do with yourself? Meh. My notebook back to the page turn and Sam began taking notes. If I had my way, I'd wrap myself around a beautiful person's little finger. It still makes its way from my shoulder to my arm, and I do my best to keep my neutral expression. There's that look again. I think I'd like to travel, meet some beautiful people in other countries. He gently raises an open hand, keeping firm eye contact with me as he does. Maybe work my way into the pockets of some important people. Suddenly clenches his hand into a fist, causing Trevor to jump a bit. Then maybe I'd be satisfied. He closes his eyes and tilts his head, grin curling yet further. I'm quite the overachiever, but I'm sure you could tell that already. I blink. Right. I'm also into hip-hop and aliens. I blink again. That was very helpful, Sam. Thank you. What a guy. Of course, that leads back to what I was saying, of course. Trevor. Lizard stands at attention, eyes wide again. Yes? Tell my colleague here your aspirations, even if you aren't going to college. Surely you have some goals in life. Well, isn't exactly how I would go about getting him to talk. I'm glad Sam asked. I flipped back to my page and Trevor. I'm not in school. I'm sorry if that isn't what you wanted to hear. No, quite the opposite. I'm very interested in what you have going on here. I chime in. I am as well. I'd love to hear more about your hobbies. You said you were into video games? A faint little spark lights in his eye. Yes, I mostly play online games. He stopped himself for a second, presumed shortly after. Have you heard of Insectoid Fantasy? The MMO? Smiles. Yes, it came out last year. From my brow. Isn't that game from like 2015? He nods. Yo, I'm talking specifically about Insectoid Fantasy 2. I was really hesitant about the launch, but I sort of bought it on impulse. He shakes his head. But it actually ended up being worth it this time. I was extremely bummed out when the original Insectoid Fantasy shut down in 2018. I bounced between MMOs for a few months, but none of them really grabbed me the same way. But luckily for me, the sequel... Oh, good lord. Before I get my mouth to respond before I can get a sound, it is already talking again. I wasn't very surprised the formula worked, but I combined this quick time, I can't fucking do this shit. Jesus fucking Christ. I put my pen down as he continues. I look over at Samus retreated back into his phone. The lizard was hesitant at first. Samus continued prodding was pretty successful getting him to open up. I don't approve of his methods, but I'm thankful he could do what I could not. But then when rating progression started, a lot of people were unsure of how my methods haven't quite been successful getting usable information. Sorry to interrupt, but there's something else I need to ask you, Trevor. Stops his babbling and tilts his head. Haven't we gear setups for the raid tier? I shake my head. No, as interesting as that is, there's something I need to know more. Take a deep breath and exhale. What do you know about the disappearance of Oliver Blanche? As soon as that name passes my lips, the atmosphere of the room changes altogether. Any sort of joy rain from the lizard's scales evaporates into the air like the late morning dew. He stares at me, mouth wide open as his posture shifts. I feel my arms balancing my notebook in my right hand. I bore my gaze deeper into him, keep my own posture firm and expectant. My... His irises continue to shrink as he stammers. Trevor, please. His obvious discomfort fills the entire house. The fact that this question puts him in such a distressed state tells me everything I need to know. Sam was right on the money. This is a lead, a big one at that. How much does he himself know? You aren't in trouble, Trevor. I'm just trying to figure out what happened to Oliver. My associate here had a hunch you may know something. Please. I soften my gaze. Can you please tell us what you know? Anything will do. Anything you know about him. His tone trails off and he slumps over. I knew him. Yeah, you did. I used to see you follow him around when you were in high school. Never stiffens up at his revelation, despite how casually the cat says it. I shifted my glance over to him, but he hasn't even looked up from his phone. Yes, but it isn't like that. I mean, I did know him, but... No, I never talked to him. He yells before his posture slips and the life drains out of him again. I never got the courage. His head falls his shoulder and slumping, utterly defeated. Saved by Sam again. It's to recover this without him. I understand, I really do. I've never been in the same position, able to talk to people I'm interested in. It can be hard. When the opportunity slips, it leaves you with a lot of regret. It can be hard. But it doesn't always mean the opportunity is gone forever. Stand up and approach him, hand outstretched. Oliver may still be out there somewhere. That's why I want to find him. He may even want to see you, too. Just as I reach out to Lizard, however, he begins to shake. Violently. No! You don't... His hands bulb into fists as he jerks his head up to look at me. His eyes are full of disgust, whether for me or himself. You don't understand. Nobody does. It's a loud creak as he stands. Not you, not him, and especially not my dad. He throws his hands to his side as he groans and collapses back into his seat. I, however, remain steadfast. I offer him my hand again, determined. Help me understand. Tears stream from his empty eyes as he stares at me. Then he sort of followed from the outburst to quickly face as it becomes hollow again. Silence drapes itself across the room until, to my surprise, Sam chimes in. Your dad, he's the chief of police, right? Yes. He was responsible for the Oliver Blanche case. A bead of sweat rolls down my forehead. I had a feeling. I just wanted to hear you say it. My eyes bulge out. I could feel. But you... My brain pushed up against my skull. Severe pain pulls my full attention. I grip my chest and my heart pounding in his prison. Stop it. Stop it. This isn't the same. Calm yourself. Calm. When I come to, I'm just where I was, arm outstretched at the strange man. My goal hadn't changed, even my perspective had. Trevor, please. Can you help us? He slits near tear-soaked eyes, a soft glint of light being snuffed out as he does. I don't think I can. His voice drops to a whisper. My dad would never want me to dig this all back up. I remain silent. I couldn't force him. Trevor, breaking through from the phone going off. Fucking hell, what timing? Reach my pocket to silence it, but just as I do, my better judgment decides against it. Sorry, I have to take this. Slightly shocked, the lizard simply nods. Turn town and walk back to the front door. Step back into the pleasant November weather again was akin to being reborn. Something else had changed, though. It couldn't be any later than 5, but the sky was already displaying it. Was already displaying if it were late evening. Between that and the fog, things are weirder on the East Coast. Drawing a deep breath, I reached in my pocket and pulled out my phone. Restricted number. Well, it isn't Mom. I drive my finger across the accept call icon I raised to my ear. Hello? Hello, this is Veronica Henderson reaching out to Juan Carlos Santa. Even when she introduced herself, I'd recognize the voice immediately. Yes, this is him. Wait, you have to proceed carefully. Cool your heart. She doesn't know that you know her. Cough quietly. Can I help you? There is silence on the other end for a second before the familiar tone picks back up. Yes. A mutual contact reached out to me and asked me to get in touch with you. Mutual contact? As I understand it, you're doing an investigation on an old friend of mine, Oliver Blanche. The voice greeting me, I'm pulled into a helpless state by a new sensation unfurling inside of me. Deep, growing orchestra of a lost memory bubbles deep in my stomach, its cry bouncing off the fleshy walls of its new home. Again with the fucking cool-ass effects. My brain couldn't hope to comprehend the slurry of noises it made, the churning moans of a presence unknowable and a language unspeakable. God, the fucking text effects in this VN are amazing. They're so good. The deepest part of my throat aches. I feel its appendages dig in as it attempts to climb out of me. What the fuck? It continues to babble inside my mind as I stand there, frozen in place. I want to gag as I feel it begin to reach the back of my mouth. My eyes bleed as its hideous liquid seeps out of the corners of my mouth, the incantation chanted by the shadow, becoming clear to me all at once. I remember. Mr. Santana? Sorry. My forehead throbs and I cough a bit of gunk in my throat. I felt off there for a second, but it seems to have passed. But yes, that's me. Short silence lingers before she responds. Yes, it's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Santana. I smile. Likewise. If you don't mind me cutting right to the point, a colleague of mine contacted me, telling me you were leading an investigation of the disappearance of Mr. Oliver Blanche. Correct. And you're an independent investigator, right? You don't work under any particular jurisdiction. No, ma'am, I'm just about as independent as you can get. She breathed out a long sigh. Alright, good to hear. Allow me to properly introduce myself while I have the time to. My name is Veronica Henderson. I've been Ollie's friend ever since we went to elementary school together. And as far as I can tell, aside from one other person, there's venom on her tongue as those words pass her lips. I've been the only person in his life he's felt close to. Therefore, as my contact suggested, I'd be an invaluable asset to your investigation, Mr. Santana. I'd be glad to accept any help you can offer. But because the house crosses my legs. Though, if you don't mind asking, our mutual contact wanted to remain anonymous for whatever reason. I blink, mouth hanging open. Yeah, I was shocked too. Last person I expected to hear from this morning. Not to mention his bizarre request that I wait to call you until just this very moment. What is he? Could have been worse timing, though. I was just stepping out from work and in a few spare moments to give you a call. I chuckle. Let's say something funny? Nothing of the sort. I'll play along with your game for now. Can't let you know I've taken the upper hand again. Right, well, I hear the sound of engines starting. A car? I'll need to be going. I have a class to teach this evening that I can't afford to miss. As soon as I have some spare time in a day or so, I'll get ahold of you again. I can answer any questions you have. That sound okay? I nod, not that she can see it. Understandable. Looking forward to sitting down with you and hopefully getting finding some answers together. Well, so long as you can bear the weight. I clutched my stomach, laughter burst into my mouth. Okay, Mr. Santana, I'm sure I missed whatever joke you thought I told. I tried to respond to bursts of laughter. No, you see, hey, saw what you did there. She said, I hoped I could bear the weight. He paused for silence before responding. Yes, and? You're a bear. Another intense round of laughter fills the early evening air, and it's met with silence. And, uh, forgive me, I'm a bit of a sucker for a bad joke. Right, I need to go. Goodbye, Mr. Santana. Before I can respond, she hangs up, dawns on me all at once, and forces my stomach into free fall. My ass falls in this example, and I slide down the wall in shame. How the how the hell would I have known she was a bear? I mean, of course we knew, but god damn it! I grabbed my face in my hands. Goddamn fucking idiot. Okay. The atmosphere at the living room changed entirely upon my re-entry. Well, the cat doesn't look up from his phone. Trevor's gait, as he approaches me, is awkward and stilted. Hey, GC, I changed my mind. He stops just in front of me, breathing heavily. Whoa, slow down, what's going on? He shakes his head quick enough that I can feel the air around his stir. No, I mean it. I'll do whatever I can to help you guys out with the investigation. This turnaround, the fuck did you do to him? I glare over at the cat, but I've never been one to look a gift horse in the mouth. I offered the lizard a warm smile in return. Well, we appreciate it, Trevor. He nods his head and raises a shaky hand out to me. I'm glad to work with you. Take his hand in mine and immediately surprised by the texture I feel. Paper? After I quirked up and down with our hands, I clutched the note and slipped in my pocket, with about as much subtlety as I can manage. Okay, now. Forget something, Trevor? The guy doesn't even look up, but I can see the ever-present smile hiding behind his phone. Trevor, meanwhile, barely grimaces for forcing a smile. Yes, I'll meet up with the TV tomorrow in the afternoon. His eye twitches, he stares at Sam like waiting for some sort of approval. The cat, showing some twisted form of mercy, nods his head slowly. Okay. He inhales deeply. I'm sorry if this comes off as rude, but my dad is. Yes, Jason, I'll be taking our leave. He presses a straight little button on the side of his phone before standing up and shoving it back in his pocket. See you tomorrow, Trevor. Another forced grin from the wizard. Goodbye, see you tomorrow. Soft chuckle escapes his throat as Sam approaches the door. His eyes raise slowly from making eye contact with mine. His eyes are complicated. Deep inside of those green seas, I can see the buildup of years of anxiety and fear. But there was a little spark of light that caught my eye, the tiniest tinge of hope. I clear my throat much with the most comforting tone I can able. I'll see you tomorrow, Trevor. He responds with a slow nod, eyes closed and shoulders hanging lower in the atmosphere of his home. Without saying another word, I could turn tail and follow the cat out of the door, and back into the cool evening air once again. The setting sun casts a soft orange glow on us as we walk back down the street. Some part of me hates it, and for the life of me, I couldn't tell you why. Hey, tell me something. Hands bare in my pockets, I keep my pace steady with the cats. You seem super invested in this whole detective thing. Trimly gazed my companion. Yeah, what about it? You're pretty terrible at it. I'm about to respond before Candy continues. I guess I'm just curious why. My brain stops working then and there. Must be the light. Well, Mm-hmm. You dodged the question last time I asked, too. I sigh. It's personal, okay? Must be. You got something that keeps you moving forward. Motivation. Must be nice. We walked together in the quiet evening air for a little while. The sounds of the waves crashing just a few yards away was constant but refreshing. Surprised at how quickly I'd gotten used to the smell of salt. I could barely tell it was abnormal anymore. I'd have guessed something changed. With a renewed sense of vigor, I speak again. My sister. Zeus broke out and turned to face me. This ring was hers. Take her ring in my right hand as I've done so many times before. It's one of the last things I have left of her. Stops. It's poetic and all, but you still have your memories, don't you? My breathing slows. I. My eyes sink back into my skull as a familiar feeling grips at my heart. Of course I do. A single tear slides up my cheek as those bony digits curl around the organ tighter, tighter, tight. What the fuck is happening? You and I aren't that different, are we? Okay. Fun. Right, that whole thing. Yeah, because if you click this, yeah, they added this part in. They added the original visual novel to it. So I guess I'll see you guys when the next thing comes out. So see ya.